Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all well. I've just finished vlogging one vlog, and then Alex has just come to me and said that she went to the auctions yesterday. I was away, so she went, and she said a few people had requested for a calf rearing video, so I thought that'd be quite cool. And we've had 2 calves this morning, so I thought, and yeah, one's a blue and one's an Angus, so I'm gonna follow these 2 calves, their journey up until being born, which is obviously today, until we sell them, which will be in what, 6 to 8 weeks. So it will be spread out, so it'll be like over the period of 6 to 8 weeks. But let me see if the light's broken. But yeah, I think that'd be quite interesting in how we do it, what we feed them, how much we feed them, how long they're in their little pens for, and all that sort of thing. So it'll probably be me doing the video along with Alex, because she feeds the calves quite a lot more than I do, because I'm in the parlour more. So yeah, I thought that was a really good idea. So let's go and see these 2 that were born this morning, so you can get an idea out of what they look like when they've just been born. And also, we've just mucked everything out in here, so it's all nice and clean. So I'll spin you around, so you might as well have a quick look in here. They literally got mucked out like yesterday, day before. So how we start it, how am I going to do this? This is going to be tricky for me to think about it. So let me just start you in here. So this is our first. So when something first calves, they first come into here, right? Everything's mucked out, everything's clean. We like to put a calf in a freshly cleaned pen. If that doesn't happen, because it doesn't always 100% happen, I'm not going to lie to you, we will try our hardest to, because we do muck out the calf pens every 3 weeks religiously. Like, we will do it almost to the day, to keep them clean and fresh and that sort of thing. It's very, very important with babies, with calves, with, you know, that sort of thing, for everything to be super, super clean, disinfected, and no bugs that are lingering around or anything like that. So they each get their individual pen. Both of these calved on a rainy morning, and this one ended up under the car in the drive. Absolutely no idea how that happened. And when I went to this one was led in the muck, which was not ideal either. So we've brushed it off with a load of straw, like rubbed it all down. They've both been under the heat lamp. They've both got the little jackets on. That's probably a good thing to point out as well. When we are in the winter months, when it starts getting a bit cooler, everything gets a jacket on. That's actually really quite important to how we bring up our calves. Let me do that face. So yeah, everything gets a jacket on, and the reason for it is a calf gets its energy from its milk, right? And a lot of that energy is meant to be put into its growth. And if it's too busy using all of that energy to keep warm, it's not going to have as much energy to then put its weight on. So if you put a calf coat on it, put it a little jacket on to help it keep itself warm that way, it'll use all the energy from its milk. It'll use all the energy from its milk to concentrate on growing, getting bigger, getting stronger, and all that sort of thing. So that's why we put a calf jacket on everything. And plus, you know, it's just nicer. You don't want to be sat out here in the cold, do you? I wouldn't want to be anyway. So everything gets a coat on. No matter size, breed, bull, heifer, everything gets a little jacket on. And then we go to the milk. Now, the milk's a massive one as well. Really, really important. And the way that we feed them, not everyone would necessarily feed them like this. So every calf that is born will end up getting its mother's milk fed to it by ourselves. We don't let them suckle on the mums. A few reasons is, one, they get too attached to the mum, and the mum doesn't like it when we then take them away. They create a stronger bond, so it's better for us to take them away sooner rather than later. Second reason is, if they've suckled from the mum, we find it quite hard for them to then go from their mum's teat, which they will be pointing upwards. I'm gonna have to do this on. Yeah, so if they've suckled off their mum, say the mum's teat's here, they'll be like this. I think that's the best way to describe it. So the teat will be up, and the calf is like up, looking for it, rooting upwards, right? It's just natural for them. So we can't actually position a teat like that on our pens. Our teats are coming straight out, so they're coming forward, so they're looking like that. So if the calf has been drinking from its mum, rooting up, we find it really quite hard for them to then train to then put the noses more forward as opposed to up. So that's another reason why we do it. And third reason, which is the most important reason out of them all, is so we know how much they've drunk. We want the calf to drink as much as it can get into its belly. That first feed, it wants to drink as much as possible. We don't limit them. If they want to drink 3 litres, they drink 3 litres. If they want to drink 8 litres, which a few of them will do, like your big blues, they can drink 8 litres. They can drink as much as they want. So that's the milk. Also, with the milk, I think it's quite important to say that all of ours are on ad lib. So for instance, like I've just said then, if it's drunk, say if one of these calves this morning, I didn't actually feed them, I need to find out how much they've drunk. I do know that this little black one had drunk off its mother because when I moved it, it already mucked. And if the calf has pooed, if it's having a poo, that means it's already drank its first colostrum, because that's what's flushing out its inside for it to then have a solid poo. So yeah, so they've drunk, what was I saying then? Oh yeah, and then, so if, say, this blue has drunk 5 litres this morning, and then we come to it this afternoon and it's not actually that hungry, because it's had a big feed this morning and it's filled its belly, we won't then force it to drink this afternoon. We'll let it lie. If it's not bothered, it can just stay where it is. Come morning, it'll be hungry again. And then our calves, everything gets fed twice a day. They get fresh milk each end of the day. And then, what else can I say? So in these little pens, we have these little grey buckets, which are they hold 5 litres of milk. They will get filled, and we like them to at least drink 4 to 5 litres of that every feed. We try and get them to drink a full bucket every feed. So yeah, our little system is, if I take this off and you can see it, we have a silver pipe that's going through the piece of plywood, which the teat is attached to the other end of it, onto the other side. We then put the pipe on there, which has a flutter valve in it, which when the calf sucks the milk up to here, let me do it for you. So we've got the teat there. Oh, it's covered in shit. Do that off. Right. So if I squeeze this teat, you watch that pipe. See that? And then because I've got hold of the teat, I'm not squeezing now, so that when the calf is drinking on this teat, if it's struggling to find it and it comes off it for a minute, I'm sorry, that's really dirty, I need to clean that, it's obviously rubbed up against it. Yeah, if the calf comes off the teat, struggles to find it, that milk is still in the pipe, so it's not sucking, getting bored, because the calf will easily get bored if it's sucking away at something and there's nothing coming out. It'll soon get bored and go and lie down if it's not, say if it's a youngster or anything like that. So they are really quite handy like that, are these pipes. And obviously the most natural way for a calf to drink is, of course, off its mother, but that's just not how it works in the dairy industry. Obviously we're milking a cow for us to be able to sell the milk for human consumption. Milk, yogurts, butter, cream, all that sort of stuff. So the calves get fed milk, obviously, and in our case it's cow's milk, it's not powder's milk, it is all cow's milk. So the most natural way we find works the best way on our farm is to use the teat method with the flutter valve. And day 1, right? Just been born this morning. It's now 11 o'clock-ish. To be fair, that is a beast of a calf. That's going to make a really nice calf. And then this Angus, again, a really good weight. It's a good, strong calf. So, yeah, that will be really interesting to see them on their little journey. So from the pens in there, which you can see are all single pens, that's where all the newborn babies go. And then as soon as they've drunk one of them full buckets of milk and they can do it comfortably on their own, they will then get moved into here. And I want to say that I'd be roughly about 3, 4, 5 days old, depending on how good the calf is, depending on how busy the calving pens are. If we've got a lot calving at the time, then we might have to move them a bit sooner. And then they get moved into here. So these are the baby ones. Come on, you're a little bit hungry. You're coming on. You get on there. Your mate can go on this one. Get that drink away. Right, so yeah, these will be a week old to 10 days old. And then we go next door. These will be a few days older. Whee! And then we go across here. These will be about 3 to 4 weeks old. What are you doing? 3 to 4 weeks old in here. So as I said before about the jacket situation, these calves have bulged out of their jackets. They no longer fit. they're too big for, the calves are too big for the coats, but when they get to this age, it's a lot better for them. They're not newborn. And then this pen is empty. Come on. Come on. Ook. Come on. Was having a drink and it's just finished. Whee! I was trying to show them that you drink water and you're not doing now. Too busy playing. Right, whilst it stood there, that's that 69 that I first started following the journey of the calf on. I'll try and find a little before shot and I'll put it here so you can see the difference, which it's not going to be a very good video because it's trying to eat my hand, aren't you? But yeah, obviously I missed a couple of weeks in the middle of it, but you get the general gist of what we're doing. I suppose I could show you inside a pipe. In fact, I will do that. Right. Let's get one of these off and so I can show you inside it. So, you've obviously got your long pipe, which then this is what we call the flutter valve, which is, can you see inside that? Ew. So basically it's a yellow like cage type thing, like little plastic, I don't know what you'd call it, with a silver ball, metal ball in it, and it sits in it like so, and then the ball goes in upside down into your pipe. The only thing that we find with these, get it out again, is we like to try and keep the buckets as clean as possible, because if there's any like straw or bits or anything that get blown into that, it bungs it up and the calves can't suck the milk up the pipe. So that is probably the main thing with this system of feeding that you've got to check, and that gets checked daily. When it comes to summer, so you can't see me, when it comes to summer, we obviously, with the heat and the milk getting warm and like it can curdle like throughout the day when it's left, the pipes get flushed out most mornings because of that as well, because obviously the calves can't drink anything if that's not working properly. So that's the main thing that you have to check with this system, is your flutter valves. If you're not checking that every time you feed, then that's when your calves won't obviously do well, because they're not getting the milk properly. So that's that. The other thing with this system that you need to check a lot is your teats, where the calves are drinking from. Just put that back on. Let's see if I can set 69 again. So if I, please don't, show you this teat end, say. So that teat's a very good teat. One sec. I'll come into this pen because these are mostly laid down now. So let's have a look at some teats. Oh, so when we get the teat, it's just this white teat. There obviously is a hole in the end of it, but we tend to make a bigger hole in it because it's very small. They can't get a lot of milk out of it, so we do cut a tiny slice to make it that bit bigger. To me, that's perfect. This one, if you can see on the end, it's getting a bit worn. When that starts wearing straight through and it's like an absolute, just a hole through there. So yeah, when your teats wear down like that, you need to make sure you check them regular. That one will be getting changed very soon because it's about to make a hole in it. Obviously, we don't want to chuck them out just for the fun of it because of the price of them. Everything costs money. But at the same time, we want everything to be working efficiently. Have I got a really bad one? This one has got a big hole in it. As you can see, I can get my whole finger in that and more. Again, that's probably more or less on its way out. So yeah, they are the two main things with this feeding system that we have to check constantly, every day, every time we feed, because if we don't, calves aren't going to get the milk and they're not going to perform like we want them to perform. So yeah, I was going to get, or try and get, a few different systems of how calves are fed, or how I've used them in the past on different farms and stuff. I did. Fun fact for you. A few years ago, I bet it'd be about 6 years ago now, me and Sam actually, it was when I wasn't working at home, I was working on another farm, and me and Sam got a chance to rent this building alongside of our other jobs. And we rented this building and we started rearing our own calves. We started doing some Angus calves. I was buying them off the farm where I was milking at the time, taking them to this building, and I put them on a very similar system, well, exactly the same system as we have here at home, but I made my own little makeshift things, and I used a big tall barrel, like them blue and silver ones in the background there. I used one of them, and I put teats around the outside of it with the pipes going into the barrel, and then obviously the barrel was clean, that got cleaned out every day, tipped the milk into the barrel, and yeah, that was a good little system. The only thing with that is when it started getting a bit more emptier and the calves were getting a bit randy with it, they'd just shove it over onto the floor. So I needed to I ended up then cleaning a breeze block off and sitting that in the bottom of it, or I'd just stand with it. So yeah, little fun fact for you. But before then, and when I've worked on other farms feeding calves, I've done a few jobs. I've been on one farm where I've only been the calf rearer. That's all I did there. I was just the calf rearer, and they block calves, so it was really busy actually. They would have a lot calf on a day, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I really loved doing just calves all day. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. And in that we fed on the bucket. So you'd have to train your calves to drink out of a bucket, which you'd think would be quite easy, but it's actually not, because naturally a calf wants to suck a teat, and naturally a calf wants to find a teat, like nuzzle up for it. So yeah, that was quite tricky. And we had these things, they were like a dummy teat, which I'm going to try and find a picture of it, because I know we don't have any here, and I didn't want to go out and buy one just for this video, because I imagine they'll be like 30 quid or something. So I'm going to try and find a picture and I'll insert it on the screen now. And it was basically a teat, and it had a base on it, and it was like a dummy, like you'd give a baby, and you'd put it in its mouth and you'd guide it into the bucket. They did really work well. I never got my head around it, because I was just a bit like, what's the point in using a teat to then put it in a bucket? I don't really get the whole bucket feeding system, to be honest. I think your calves, they naturally want to suck a teat, so why just let them suck a teat? But again, personal preference, not everyone's going to say that. A lot of people probably prefer bucket feeding. The way that we feed, yes, we feed everything ad lib. Now I get so many questions on how can you feed your calves ad lib and them not scour out. Don't get me wrong, we have calves that scour. It's one of them things, it happens. But touch wood, all of our calves have water alongside them. So if you're keeping them hydrated, if they're drinking water alongside the milk, they shouldn't technically scour out, because they're keeping hydrated. And because they're on ad lib right from the word go, it's not like a massive shock to the system where they've been on 2 litres for like 4 weeks, then all of a sudden they're getting ad lib. It's not like that. They're on ad lib right from the word go, as if they would be like on a cow. So our way of feeding is very natural. It's very much as if the cow's in there with them. They're on a teat, they can suck away, and if they're sucking on a cow naturally, they're not going to get so much milk all in one go. It takes time for them to suck it out. Imagine like me stripping a cow out in the parlour. It takes time for that to happen. So likewise with the calves in here, it takes time for them to drink the amount of milk that they are doing. They're not just doing it in a few minutes. They're there for a good while, sucking it all up. And it's very good for a calf to salivate. It's very good for a calf to salivate when they're drinking, because they're using all of their muscles in their mouth, and it's very natural, and they're sucking away. I'll have to Google this because I'm not fully sure what I'm trying to say, but I do know that it's good for them to salivate when they're drinking the milk. I don't know why, but I'm going to find that out for you. And why do we feed ad lib? We feed ad lib because we want our calves to look as good as we can get them to look. We have done this for as long as I can remember, and my granddad did it at our old farm. So it's just the system that we've stuck with. We've always done ad lib. We've always got our calves to drink as much as they can to try and get the best outcome at the end when we're selling them at 7 to 8 to 10 weeks. Like, we want them to go to the auctions looking as well as we can, getting the highest price that we can for them, and the way that we're doing this is by feeding them ad lib milk. I get asked a lot again on why we don't feed powder. We don't feed powder because it's a cost. We're obviously buying it in. Yes, I know that the milk that we're feeding them is a cost, and we know that, but we've worked it out numerous times and we find it either on par or slightly cheaper to use the milk out of the tank. So we've just always used it out of the tank, and if we were to buy in powdered milk, we wouldn't be feeding ad lib because it's too rich because of everything else that they put into it. It's so you don't have to feed ad lib. It's so you can feed your calves 3 litres in the morning and 3 litres at night, because it's got everything that it needs in that powder. So we just don't, there's no real reason why we don't use powder. We just don't. We've just always used it out of the tank, so that's just what we stick to. Stick to what you know, guys. So yeah, that is top and bottom of the calf rearing in here. I've been asked to show you how we do it, and I've tried to show you as best as I can. I feel like it's quite straightforward, whether it's just because obviously I've just done this for as long as I've farmed here, but it's straightforward. We've literally got buckets on a bit of plywood with a teat on it, and like I say, the main thing with this, because I do know some people have asked us like at the farm about this in general in the past, and they've tried this system at home and they've not fallen in love with it like we have. They've not enjoyed doing it, and I think the main reason for that is you have to check your pipes and your teats. If your pipes and your teats aren't working as they should be, your calves aren't going to do well off it. So you have to be there. We don't chuck the milk at them and leave them. We put the milk in the buckets, and then we watch the calves. So if there's a calf at the back that's not drinking, you need to be aware of that, because if there's no milk by the time it comes up and tries to get some milk, well, it's missed out. So when you're feeding them, you have to stay with them. But I feel like I find that with any case, when you're feeding calves anyway, with all the jobs that I've done on other farms, you don't just put the milk out for the calves and leave them to it. You do check that they're drinking it, whether that's if they're in single pens, group pens, whatever they're in. You have to stay and check that they're eating it. The babies at the end of the day, and if they're not eating and drinking, then you've got a bit of a problem. So that I've been asked is, how do you know how much each calf is getting? Realistically, I don't, because they're in a group of 8 calves, maybe 10. Again, that's just checking your calves. That's making sure that they're all up drinking at the same time. That's making sure that they're growing. That's making sure that they look healthy. That's just part and parcel of looking after your animals, really. So yeah, if you have got any questions, if I've missed anything, if I've not explained anything or anything like that, just do ask me in the comments, and I will try and answer them as best as I can. I am no calf expert either, guys. Don't take my word for any of this. I'm just telling you my experience of it. And yeah, I think that might be it. Is that it? I'm gonna go crack on with some more jobs now. I'm not milking tonight because my knee is the size of Pluto, so I'm giving it a day off, which I should be sat down icing it really, so I might go and do that in a minute. But anyway, thanks. When the guy asked me about why don't your calves scour out, obviously some do, but he was saying how aren't all your calves scouring with the amount of milk that you feed them. So another point that I've just asked Meg, so another point for that would be the amount of milk that we're giving them. They've got enough energy and like their immune system, like everything's better. Like if you're rationing yourself on food, then you're more likely to get an illness. Whereas if you're well fed and you're healthy and all the rest of it, then you're more likely to fight off any illnesses or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, obviously we get ill calves, it's just the way it is. But yeah. Right, so our scour protocol is, if it's scouring out, check its temperature. If it's got a high temperature, it'll be getting a course of antibiotics, it'll be getting a jab of pain relief, and then we will make sure that calf is drinking its milk, which in the milk we will also add in some electrolytes or anything like that, We'll make sure it's getting lots of water. You should always be hydrated if you've got scour. So calves are humans. So yeah, that's what we do basically, and hopefully in the next couple of days it'll start to show signs of improvement, and it'll be able to fight it off. But we just like to make sure that it's getting lots of fluids in and make sure that the antibiotics are working for it. So that's what we do for that. Literally just pulled up at Gisborne auction. I'm just waiting in the queue to drop the calves off. I've 8 calves with me today, ranging from 4 weeks to 8 weeks. So we also sent a batch yesterday to Bentham auction because we're doing a bit of a comparison. So I need to find out what they made actually, so I compare them for you on the video. All similar ages, so we've got some that have gone a bit younger, some middle, some to like 8 weeks, and we've done that for both auctions, so we could get like a fair comparison really. So I've not been here in ages, and I'm really looking forward to the breakfast because this is the best breakfast here, hands down. And then after this, I'm actually in a bit of a rush. I need to make sure I'm finished here for like 11:30, I'd say, because it takes me an hour to get back. So if I'm done here for 11:30, I get home for 12:30, and then I'm going to Manchester this afternoon modelling, so I need to be back to have enough time to then quickly go there. So yeah, busy day today. Hope you enjoy this video, guys. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, see how we get on. No. This one. And lasagna's alright. So I've forgotten my comb either at home or in the car. I'm pretty sure I couldn't see it in the car. Anyway, a lovely lady who is a YouTube follower let me borrow her comb, so thank you very much to her. They needed it. They always get a bit dirty when they come in the trailer, but anyway, chuffed with them, they look well. Right, we shouldn't be too far off until we're in now, really. Well, saying that, there's probably still about 50 cars left. I need to go and set my camera up somewhere because I'm on my own, so I'm going to go and set it up somewhere while I sell them. Here they come. Right, I'm half an hour behind schedule. I've just got the print off for the calves. 8 came here today and 6 went to Bentham yesterday. And right, that was a really quick, abrupt ending, so sorry about that. Anyway, it's like over a week. Is it a week? No, it's not quite a week, but anyway, time has passed. And I've just written down what each calf has made at each auction. So to be fair, it's very, very similar. So the oldest calf at 8 weeks old, the one that we sent to Bentham made £470, and the one that we sent to Gisborne made 460, so a tenner in it, literally nothing. And then the rest of them, from Bentham we go, so if we're going down in ages, we then go to 350. Gisborne, it was 410, so there's a bit of a difference then. And then it's 340 and 400, 340, 385, 305, 365. And then the Angus's, the one at Bentham made 215 and the one at Gisborne made 250. So I feel like Gisborne, they were up a bit at Gisborne. I know the top one, the top price was actually higher at Bentham, but it was only by a tenner. And then from the other calves, we're looking at like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. So that's 60 quid. Yeah, about £60 more at Gisborne. So yeah, but on a whole, very, very similar. So the one that made the top price at Bentham, making £470, was the calf number 69, which was the calf that we started this whole vlog off with. The blue that you saw right at the start of the video, the way we're going to follow its journey. I feel like I've not followed its journey that well, so I do apologise for that. Leave the video there now, guys. I feel like it's quite a long video, this. Anyway, so thanks so much for watching. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've got anything that you want to know, if I've missed anything to do with calf rearing that you want to know, then write in the comments. I definitely will reply to you. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye, guys.